Good morning, students. Today, myself Harmeet, I'm here to teach you one of the wonderful stories written by O. Henry. And the title of the story is The Cock and the Anthem. This is a very humorous and interesting story. Before I begin this story, students, I want to drag your attention towards a fact of the life. You know what happens? Many a times we think something, we plan something, we desire for something, but something else happens in return. Life is full of challenges, ups and downs, and many twists and turns. So, here in context of the protagonist of the story, whose name is Soapy, we'll be just going through what happened with him and how did he positively, with positive attitude, tackle all those problems. So let's see. The story actually begins with the main character, whose name I have already told you is Soapy, who is a homeless and jobless guy. Homeless means he had a home, but due to his ego problem, he left his home, and at present we find in the beginning of the story residing in the park which was located in Madison Square. This name you people need to remember, Madison Square. In that park there was a bench where he used to live. It was summer season, so he spent his summer season very comfortably. But we find the symptoms of winter season approaching in the story. So he was panicked. He was in trouble. How will he be managing in winters in an open area, in a park? So what does he do? He had an idea. He just thinks that he would be imprisoned for next 3 months in one of the prisons, right, in New York. For that, he made several attempts. He took several trials, and we would be talking about all those several trials which he made one by one at length, right? Just in order to get his desire fulfilled, he first of all goes to a restaurant. He finds himself nicely dressed up till here, means his coat was okay, his face was okay. But when he goes at the entrance of the restaurant, he was just not allowed by the waiters or by the gatekeepers to enter inside. Why? Because of his torn shoes. When they had looked towards the old torn shoes of the Soapy, they disallowed Soapy to enter the restaurant. So what do we see, students? Here his first plan got flopped here. Next, he just goes near a coffee shop. A coffee shop was there in which there was a big glass window. Glass is fragile, we know. So what does he think? He thinks that if I pick up a stone from anywhere and I throw on it, it would get broken, obviously. So he does that. He picks up the stone and throw on the window. Everywhere there was a stampede. People started running here and there. All got disturbed. Even cop was also present. As per his plan, he was thinking that cop would arrest him and he would put him into the jail. And his wish of staying into the jail will be fulfilled. Why did he want to go into the jail? He actually wanted to be imprisoned because he thought that for the next 3 months, means in winters, he would be safe without, he's not supposed to pay anything over there. He would get food also, meal also free of cost, and he would get lodging also. With this intention, he was doing all this. So this was the second attempt. So he threw the stone, the cop came near him, and Soapy immediately, with lots of curiosity and inquisitiveness, he said that I am the one who has done all this. Cop got suspicious. Cop thought, how can a criminal stay over there and is waiting for me to arrest him? This is not possible. So the cop's attention was dragged by one of the fellows who was running very rapidly. So he just rushed towards that man, thinking that the man should be the one who did all this. So here again he faced dejection. Third time, fortunately, he got the opportunity to enter one of the famous restaurants in the New York. He just had dinner over there, but when it was the time to pay, the waiters came for asking for the payment. He denied, he refused. He didn't have money, so he said, I have no money. Then what happened? He was just thrown away from the restaurant outside. because he had no money and it was quite famous restaurant. So they didn't bother about it and they didn't have much time to think over it or to investigate all about it. They threw Soapy out of the restaurant. Then when he was thrown out, he just saw the cops standing over there. Again his wish, it started motivating him. He was little bit fearful because every plan he was making was facing failure or getting failed, right? So this time he thought that if I pretend to be drunk, and he did the same. He just pretended, he started dancing, he started shouting over there and pretended like drunk out. Because he was hoping this time cop will find him creating nuisance over there in the area and he would be arrested. Cop was watching surely him. They were seeing the user's activities being performed by Soapy, but they didn't interfere. You know why, students? Because they had received the orders from the authorities that they would not be saying anything to the college boys. That day in the college there was a night party sort of thing. So they all were already drunk and they were having merriment, enjoyment. So they didn't interrupt and they didn't say anything to Soapy, thinking that Soapy must be one of the college boys. So this plan also got failed. Now after this, another hope arose. He found an umbrella kept near one of the shops. He just went there secretly, picked up the umbrella because there was nobody to own it, right? No owner was nearby. He took the umbrella and just waited for the owner to arrive or to approach him. Yes, there was a man who came and claimed for the umbrella. He said, "It's mine." Soapy, again his eyes started gleaming. He had hope. He thought this time surely I'm going to get success. I would be put into the prison. So he said, "Why don't you go and call the cops? Go immediately and get me arrested because I have stolen your umbrella." The confidence actually made the fellow very suspicious. He himself actually had stolen that umbrella from somebody else. So how could he complain? He also started moving towards the cop, but after that he moved away from there without saying anything to the cops, without complaining regarding the umbrella. So this is how all the attempts which Soapy made, the protagonist of the story made, they all went in vain. Right? So here the turning point comes. As I mentioned in the beginning of the story, that life is full of ups and downs. And when life is flat, students, there is no life, you can say. So what happens? See the irony of the situation. How is it ironical situation? Because earlier he was begging to be arrested by the cops. But now when he was hopelessly with despair, with lots of depression and dejection, he was moving towards his home, the previous home. On the way he stopped and started staring towards the house where he used to live with his parents, and he became vagabond. So he started staring at it and he was recalling the golden days which he had with his parents, his wishes, his aspires, and many more motivational and inspiring things. So this was the turning point where he was waved. He was completely moved away. And finally, Soapy determines that now I am going to earn my own identity. I would be the one I am, right? So this firm determination brings drastic change in him all of a sudden, right? At the same moment, he finds somebody's hand on his shoulder. Who that man was? That man was the cop. The cop for whom he was waiting for. The cop was there. He arrested Soapy for loitering here and there, for wandering here and there, and put him into the jail. Which jail? Blackwell's Island jail. Right? For the next 3 months, Soapy was into the jail. So this is how his life takes turn. Now it must be clear how is it irony. Right? Earlier when he expected to be into the jail and he made so many attempts, he had so many trials, 5 times I think he made trial. He was not arrested. But at the moment, he got his mind fixed that yes, I am going to be the one. I'll just earn my identity. I'll fulfill all my wishes. Right? He gets arrested. So here the story ends. I hope you must have understood it well, and its message also, its moral also, that yes, we need to be positive whether we are facing adversity or we are in prosperous condition. Always be positive and never lose your hope, never lose your expectation, because life goes on. It's a struggle. We need to be ready to be a struggler, constant, steady struggler. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, students.